I'm putting the eyes on now. I already just put one on, but I wanted to show you, I have cut out the bottom. Being super careful. I've cut out the bottom, and I have, to fix that. I've smoothed it out, and I will work on that a little bit more. I'm making sure that all of my edges have a little water on them when I work. You don't want them to get crispy, basically. And then I've also cut out my mouth. It was a little lopsided, and then I formed that a little bit. I might add lips to that, score and slip lips. I've done one eye, and now I'm doing the other one. I've scored it really, really well, because these are different stages of clay. And I took this ball of clay. I made two at the same time, so they were the same sizes. Just gonna squish that a little bit, make sure there are no big cracks in it. And then I'll put it on a flat surface, and I'm just gonna poke my pencil eraser through it. Not all the way, but. All right, now I'll make sure I score both the body of the fish. So please, please, please score and slip really super well for these. Put plenty of slip on. You want all of these extra pieces to stay on really well. And then when you put it on, you can put your fingers inside the mouth to give it some support. And you really, I don't know, I have this hair, sorry. You really want to give it a good, that's grossing me out. It's like fuzz. A good push. And I'm twisting it a little bit so it kind of locks on, and it feels really stable. I'm going to now take a wet paintbrush, get all the slip inside there. Make sure, and I even might put it on my eye. That way it sort of reinforces that it's all gonna dry together. I'll get just a wet sponge now. Clean up some of that slip, and then I'll clean it up a little more when it dries a little more, but I even put a little water around. It just reinforces that I want these to become one. I want these two pieces to basically become one. So my eyes are done. Now I'm gonna move on. You can add gills if you want in the same fashion. You can basically, the same way eyes, I would do a little snake here and smooth it in. I'll show you how to do that. Then I'm gonna cut out, once I draw the holes that I'm gonna cut out, I'll do that on both sides, draw the holes, make my pattern, and then I'll start cutting them out, and then you'll smooth it all out, and that'll be it. So I'll show you how to do your gills, if you want to do gills. Just like with my eyes, I lined my fish up, so I'm looking at both sides, and say I wanted to do gills right here. I'm going to make my mark with pencil or whatever I'm going to make it with, basically maybe right in this area. So it's generally the same area. And that is where I'll put my gills. I will need to score really well. This is kind of dry leather hard. You can see it's flaking a little bit. This is the absolute last stage you would want to work with as far as putting pieces together. It's kind of dangerous. So I think it's important though to see sort of the last stage. Two pieces that were relatively the same in size, I will roll into a coil, or you could do one piece and split it in half. I think I'm going to do that. That'll be a little easier. Split it in half for each side. Make sure I score, and I add slip, a lot of it. Okay, now I'm going to put my gill, I'm going to put it in kind of a curve. I'm going to, if I can't get my finger all the way in the mouth, I'm going to definitely hold onto the fish. And then I'm basically going to smear. I'm going to leave one side high and one side I'm going to smear. I want to make sure this doesn't crack. So I'll take this, I can use my finger or a tool. I'll just use my finger. And I'm going to, oops, sorry for shaking the camera. I'm going to smear that out. You can use a fancy carving tool, fancy clay tool, or something as simple as an eraser. You can decide that you want to put a pattern on that if you want. I definitely wouldn't leave it like that. That's messy. Flatten it out a little bit. Some of my favorite tools are the cheap plastic tools that you'll find at Michael's for Sculpey. They come in a pack. I've gotten so many of these like this. I use them all the time. You could leave it like this with cleaning it up a little bit. I would definitely make sure I have plenty of slip in there. Get some water. You could put a pattern, texture on the gill if you like. That's all up to you. I'll do the other side. Sponge it off just a little bit in a moment, but I do want you to see, for example, if I decided to just randomly use these chopsticks and do some kind of pattern, that's kind of fun. So you can do things like that, obviously. Or you can use it plain. So I'll do that on the other side and then I'll show you how to cut out the holes.